afternoon. What I'd like to do is talk a little bit about my concept of fly casting, which is quite a bit different from what most people teach. The first thing I'd like to point out is you don't cast fly lines. I know we say we do, but you don't. You cast lures and you cast bait, but you unroll fly lines. So when you stop this rod, this line actually unrolls to the target. You don't cast lines. In fact, for many people who think they're casting lines, there's a tendency to punch the line and you get all kind of shock waves in it. If you think that you're actually unrolling this line, the line goes so much smoother and so much easier. But there's other reasons for thinking about understanding that you're unrolling the line. And one of them is this: if you make a big loop like that or out to the side, the reason that line didn't go anywhere is because as you made that line go around a circle, so you actually took your energy and dissipated it around a circle. Also, you're throwing that line against the air. Well, people think air don't make any difference, but when it blows towards you, it's wind, so it does make a difference. But if we can throw a smaller, tighter loop like this, what you're doing is throwing less line through the air, and you're directing your energy straight back and straight to the target. Another thing I'd like to point out that I'm 83 years old, I ain't got no power left, and this does not require power. So any of you ladies can cast well. In fact, I can teach any woman. I've been married to my best friend for 61 years because I ain't taught her nothing. But I can teach any woman that ain't married to cast. Because I can leave town tomorrow. You women don't listen to what your husbands say, you listen to how you say. But you women can learn to cast. This does not require power. This is a little 6-weight rod, and you can see it's not any work to make the cast. But there are some things that most people who teach casting don't emphasize. The first thing is that you have rotator cuffs up here which are attached to your forearm, up to your clavicle. Can't remember the name of it. But anyway, when you go up like this and down like this, you pull up and down on these, and that's what causes torn rotator cuffs. If we could cast in a way that we did not move up and down, if we could cast so we didn't stress that, and also people cast with their wrist, and if you put your fingers there and do that, you can actually feel every time you do this, you're pulling on these tendons attached to your elbow. So when you cast this way and go up and down, you tend, first of all, if you're going to use heavy tackle, you're going to end up with a torn rotator cuff. And then if you use your wrist a lot, you're going to end up with tennis elbow. If we eliminated those two problems, then you can cast better. The other thing wrong with casting just this way is only strong people can use big tackle, so we automatically eliminate most women from casting and most children and older people. What I maintain is this: fly casting is the only sport I know where you're taught to cast with just your arm. Even in ping pong, people use their bodies to cast or to work. So I'm advocating that you use your body along with your, more than anything else. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put this rod back and I'm going to lock my elbow against my body, and this will not move at all. And I don't want you doing this, but I just want to show you that the body can make the cast. So if I lock that elbow there and just swivel the body, the line goes back here. If I swivel back, I have thrown the line with my body, and I've never moved the rotator cuffs. And when I come forward, if you watch my hand, my wrist does not move at all on the back cast, and this is all that moves on the forward cast. So you've eliminated, first of all, tennis elbow and rotator cuffs, and now women and children and older people can use heavier tackle. This allows you to do trout fishing and brim fishing, but if you try to go with a big tarpon rod or go bass bugging or something like this, and you start using heavier tackle, you ladies and older people and people that are not strong can't do it. Okay, so we got that part done. The second thing is that most people have been taught to cast on a clock face. You go to 9:30, 10 o'clock and make a back cast. You stop at 1 o'clock, you go back to forward and stop at 11 o'clock. Clocks are for keeping time. They ain't got nothing to do with fly casting. And if we forget about the clocks in the first place, and I'll show you why it doesn't work and why it messes you up, this has nothing to do with clocks. What happens is this, is what we're trying to do in casting, we are trying to unroll this line directly away from the target and directly back to the target. All casting with all tackle is exactly the same. You cast a spinning rod, a plug rod, a surf rod, and a fly rod exactly the same way. The only difference is that with spinning, plug, and surf, you have a weight attached to some line, and when you release the line, it goes out there, it pulls the line out. In fly casting, the line unrolls.